Please join me in welcoming the Academy Award-nominated actor you know from this year's Call Me By Your Name and Lady Bird, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, hello. I wrote something out, but it's feeling awfully formal now. That was a really surreal experience to see that red bar just slowly climb up, and I'm staring at Paul Thomas Anderson, who's one of my idols, and he's watching this red bar slowly climb, and I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone or something. I got this teleprompter that's gonna be useless though, so maybe take that away. This is the Texas Film Awards, so I know you guys are looking at Timothée Chalamet, and you're thinking, what the hell is this guy doing here? But I got family in Texas, so I'm not as, I swear to God. In Dallas. Oh yeah, whoops, sorry. Yeah, I'm a little ignorant to that, okay. And Armie made me promise that I would keep it short and sweet, but another, filmmaker that I'm here that I'm really honored to be in front of is Richard Linklater, and I got to do a movie with another Texas legend a couple years ago, Matthew McConaughey, and I went home while we were shooting the movie, and I went on Netflix because I wanted to. It was like in the middle of The Reconnaissance, so there's like a lot of like excellent movies, and I went home because I was doing a movie with him, and I really wanted to see something that was great, and I threw on Bernie, and I don't know if anybody's seen this in here, but that is. It means nothing, coming from a New Yorker like me, but that's like a Texas classic. And there's a bit in there that outlines the different parts of the state, and that's like a real education to a naive person like me. And lastly, Armie and I got the opportunity to be at the Oscars a couple of days ago, which was really one of the most surreal and awesome experiences. And it's funny because that was very much supposed to be like the end of the ride. And then he gave me a call and he said, I'm getting this award in Austin. Would you come down and do it and present it to me? And the truth is, they asked Stanley Tucci to do it first, and he couldn't come, which is why you're getting me. But listen, and then I'll wrap it up. But this is really easy for me to do because I'm young. Obviously, my career has been very short, but yet I've been fortunate to work with a lot of really great actors, a lot of great human beings. But they all, like the relationship I had with Armie is really unlike any. Oh God, I gotta watch out. But seriously, it's really it's unlike the relationship I've had with a lot of actors, a lot of people I've worked with, and I can go on about the acting itself. I think it really speaks for itself. I'm sure a lot of people in here have seen Social Network and Man from U.N.C.L.E., hopefully Call Me by Your Name, and like the teleprompter has an anecdote, so I'll just say a different one instead. But there was a moment in Call Me by Your Name for those that have seen the film, and it's towards the end of the movie, towards the end of the relationship. It seems like this summer romance is going to come to an end, and my character Elio is sleeping in bed. And it's the night before there's going to be a train station departure. And we did one take of the scene, and the scene was easy for me. The requisite was just to be sleeping in bed. But for Armie, he started at the window, and they needed to come around and sit on the bed. And we did one take, and then our director, Luca Guadagnino, he came over, and he said to Armie, do it again and encompass something along these lines. He said, encompass the whole relationship, the whole summer that's just passed. And we're going to cut to this goodbye sequence right after it. And we literally did just one more take after that. I didn't see what he did because I was sleeping or pretending to. And then I got, when I got to the chance to see the movie for the first time at Sundance, I would implore anybody to go back and watch the scene because you hear it often, but that's like masterclass acting, and it really is. It's encompassing like 7,000 emotions in one moment. And if I had to point to the acting moment when I watch the movie that always blows my, or takes me away, that's really it. And just the working experience with Armie, again, like this, I'm not insecure about how I deliver this because it's really from the heart, and I don't, I got so lucky with this film, with Calling by Our Name, now we're kind of on the other side of it, but this is insane to be speaking in front of Mike Judge, all the, like legends at a young age. It's really, for me, thanks to this film and thanks to the opportunity of working with someone that was totally open to the experience, to the relationship, to the story, and who was really like team captain for our cast, and because he was the one with the experience and knew how to guide the ship, knew how to make something of the caliber of Social Network. But beyond that, and I always say this, the man that this man is in an industry that, for like young male actors, there aren't a ton of roadmaps that you like point at and you go, that's somebody I want to become. And I felt this way when I met him. I felt this way a month and a half working with him. And now that we've been promoting this movie for 2 years, I'm all the better for it. It's humanity. It's loving fatherhood. It's being a loving husband. It's bringing humor to work. It's bringing hard work. It's being egoless. And I feel like I would be remiss not to shout out Armie's wife, who's sitting right next to him too, Elizabeth Chambers, because in many ways, even during the production of Call Me by Your Name, like, you're really the part of the experience and part of the package. Like, Elizabeth and I would joke that, like, I would come over to Armie's apartment sometimes and this is going on way longer. I'm sorry, man. I gotta wrap this up. But I'll skip that. Elizabeth, I love you, man. I was gonna say maybe one more thing, but I don't know. Simply, oh yeah, I gotta introduce this highlight reel. Before that. A big shout out to South by Southwest, because that's awesome, and this film festival is so cool, and it really is, and that's awesome, and then a big shout out to this organization and getting to hear it all right now as well. There's nothing for a young artist like a marker of encouragement, even if that comes in the form of some financially beneficial package. But seriously, like, I did a program called Young Arts in Miami, National Endowment of the Arts, and if some people had their way, all public funding would be cut, and I'm a product of public arts funding, and seriously, and I guess I'm going to be introducing a clip reel here. And then I will be joined in the awards presentation by Stephen Gatos, and we'll call Armie on stage. In a few minutes, I'm going to be joined by Variety, and we'll invite Armie up here to accept his award. But first, let's take a look back at Armie's wonderful work. Let's roll the clips.
Presenting the Variety 1-2 Acclaim Award, Variety's Vice President and Executive Editor, Stephen Gatos.
Thank you. You're such a bad influence. I'm going to skip the teleprompter too now. But the difference is, he made it work, and now I got flop sweat. One thing I just want to say in advance of everything else is coming to Austin. If you live here, you are so lucky this is your hometown, because look at everything you have. I come from a town in California. The only thing we've got is the Hells Angels. It's not the same. But seriously, this support system, the idea of community. When you work in Hollywood as long as I have, and you hear the word community, you're very suspicious that it's something that may not really be real. The Austin film community, the Austin community, the support, the belief in each other, the raising each other up and everything. That's I just had to say it, because every time I come down here, I get excited about it. I love it. So thank you. The idea of 1-2 Acclaim, about 20-some years ago, I started a program at Variety called 10 to Watch. And this gentleman was on the list this year and wound up getting an Oscar nomination. So many years ago, Armie did a little movie that people didn't see because it was before Social Network, and it was a little film made in another great city, Nashville. And when I saw him in this, a friend had told me about it. It was so clear to me that Hollywood suddenly had a great new actor, but they also had something really rare. They had a great new movie star. And I'm reading the Michael Curtiz biography right now. And Curtiz said something, when Errol Flynn had visited him. And when Errol Flynn left, he said, Strasbourg Institute, Strasbourg and Actor Studio, they can make an actor, but only God can make a movie star. And this man is just such a fine actor and a movie star quality that, bigger than life. The screen just lights up every time he steps into the frame. And so One to Acclaim is really saying somebody that was only a few years ago, someone that Variety spotted and said, we think there's something happening here. And now it was such a pleasure to have Call Me By Your Name really fulfill that promise in such a big way. So, Armie Hammer. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Stephen and Variety, for the honor. I know this probably has to be very surreal for Timmy, having now won about 45 of these over the last season. So if it makes you any comfortable, you can hold this while I'm up here. You're probably much more used to that on stage. Thank you, Timmy, for coming and presenting me with this thing. It's amazing. It's been an incredible ride. I think I've handed you about 20 of those over the course of the last couple months. So thank you now for being a part of handing me one. It's kind of coming full circle. Thank you to the Austin Film Society, to Variety, to the Texas Film Festival, to really everybody who was a part of this. Thank you to my wife for coming to yet another one of these. Happy International Women's Day. Rah, rah. Yep. And to my long-suffering mother who put up with all my shit for way too long and still decided to come and support me for this, so thank you for that. And to Elizabeth's dad, Bill, and everybody else who came here to be with us. Thank you guys very much. This is great. I'm going to put it on a mantle, and yeah, here we go. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate this.